Hello, welcome back. So we're going to now go over textbook and resources module. So as I said in the last video, this course has two modules, textbook and resources and content. So you can click into textbook and resources by clicking on this title in the module, and then it will display the textbook and resources module within the contents area. So textbook and resource has 7 items to complete. So if there's a check mark in my view, that means that it's required. You can see them change as you work through them. So the textbook in this class is actually an OER, which stands for Open Educational Resource. It costs no money. You get what you pay for. Keep that in mind. So it is a free online resource that is available as a PDF download. So you click on this ebook link here, and that will bring you, or you can click on the title here in the description, and that will bring you to the place to download the PDF. If it was me, I would save it to my device, and I would access it on a tablet. It's a lot easier to read things like that on a tablet, but you can view it on a computer screen, on your phone, whatever works for you. Anything that can read a PDF. If reading off of electronic screens is not your jam, then you can always print it. Printing it on your home printer could be expensive, but you could do it. You could also bring it to a professional printer or mail the PDF to an online professional printer and they could send it to you. I don't know how much any of that costs. I try to avoid paper when at all possible. So if you like the no paper, cheaper way to go, then a PDF is definitely the best choice. So the book itself, you download it, and then we're going to cover most of the chapters in the book. You're expected to read the chapters. Not only are the homeworks there, but also some foundational learning, which you'll need for our class discussions, is also in there. And each module, each class module will under the expected, the expectations that you had for the week, it will tell you which chapter or which pages in a chapter in the book you're expected to read. So there's the textbook. I know that UMFK doesn't provide any Brightspace training, so I give you a link here to the trainings that Brightspace has put together themselves on how to navigate within Brightspace. Most people don't, they just try to figure it out on their own. But if you'd rather be prepared rather than learning while you go, maybe watch these videos and you'll find it a little bit easier to navigate within your class. Another resource here is a website called How to Email Your Professor. I use this for that very first email assignment that I talked about in the last video. It is here under textbook and resources because it's something that you might need to reference throughout the semester, not just for that assignment. I do expect that you're going to use this formatting for any initial email conversation that you start with me. I would think that you would also continue that with all your other professors and into your professional career as well. It's just a way to format an email that is helpful and courteous and not overly casual. So that's what our first assignment is about. This is the resource, one of the places in the course to show you can access it. Now, this class is structured around Microsoft Office 365. The course is divided into essentially two components. I'll talk about that in the next video. But when we're working on applications component of the class, which is about half the class, the second half, we're going to be using Office 365. If you say, but Dr. White, I've used Google Tools my whole entire life. Congratulations, use that knowledge to do Microsoft Office 365 for this class. Or if you're on a Mac, you can still use Office 365 on your Mac. This class can be done quite successfully on a Mac. It'll take a little bit more work because the book is written for Windows. And as a Mac user, you'll need to learn how to adapt your Mac environment to Windows instructions. It's just part of owning a Mac, I'm sorry to tell you. Um, and this is an example of that. Now, Microsoft provides Mac versions of Office 365, which are part of your tuition. You get them for free. So, well, not for free, but they're included with your enrollment. So, if you are a early college student and you're on a Mac and your school does not allow you to install software, please bring your computer to your IT department and tell them that you need it for class. Simple as that. If they won't install it for you, or give you permission to install it, please let me know, because this course requires Office 365 download installed version. They do offer a web version that will not work for this class. It is a very pared down version of what Office 365 has capability to do, just like the Google Tools is a very pared down capability to an installed piece of software, which is why we use the Office 365 download and install. If you're on a Google Chromebook, you need a different computer. Google Chromebooks only can access the web, and you do not have the ability to install this software. So I give you instructions on how to get it, right? Illustrated instructions here on all the steps you need in order to download and install Office 365 on your computer. As a student at University of Maine, you also have a Microsoft OneDrive account. We call it the University of Maine OneDrive, and that is where you should store all of your files that you're using for any of your courses for UMaine. We do have an assignment in the class where I have you do some file management in your University of Maine OneDrive account. You'll be using screenshots to show me what you've done as part of your file submissions for the homework assignment. So make sure that you understand how to use this. I'll give you a link. The instructions are there. Grammarly, it's not a requirement, but a recommendation, and you should follow its instructions. I've noticed that most students do not have college level writing skills, grammar, spelling, punctuation, tone, all of that. And Grammarly is a program that's free. There's a pay version, you don't need it. The free version will be enough to help you improve your writing. Purdue OWL website, I give a link to it. We don't really need it that much, but the library likes us to have it in there, so it's there. There's also a link to the library in case you need to access that. And for the capstone, possibly you might want to access library help. There's also a link here to the UMFK Information Technology Help area. Assuming that your help is not so dire that you at least have a functional computer, you can get some help on different things here. And then there's also a place for the Writing Center if you need help with writing, although this is not a class that you probably would need the Writing Center help for, to be quite honest. If you don't have Adobe Reader, if you just use your browser to preview PDFs, I highly encourage you to download and install the Adobe Reader software. It's free. And it's much better than a browser or some of the other readers out there. It's the best Acrobat PDF reader available. I encourage you to download, install it, and set it as your default. And then there are some additional library resources down here that the library provided back in fall of 21, and nothing has been updated since, so it stays the same. But again, this is not a course that you probably will necessarily need to heavily rely upon library resources for. It's just not that kind of course. So that is the textbook and resources module with a library resources submodule. And the big takeaway from this is we have an OER, which means no cost book, that is available on PDF that you are expected to read. And we have the Office 365 software instructions on how to download and install that software onto your laptop or computer. So the next video will be on the content and all of its submodules.